This TikTok has over 300,000 views, but if you follow the advice in it, you could actually put everything at risk. I'm Jonathan Feniak. I'm a business formation attorney, and today I'm reviewing the most dangerous LLC advice spreading on TikTok, and I want to set the record straight so that you can start your business with confidence. My team has put together 5 TikToks about LLC formations that I haven't seen yet. I'm going to be giving you my honest, unfiltered reaction to each one. I have no idea what I'm about to watch, but let's see what advice people are spreading. Okay, here goes my first one.
That LLCs were probably the worst way to do business, and the wealthy and the elite are using something completely different. Here's the thing with having an LLC to do business. You have to register that with the state. So that means the state oversees your business. There's fees,
Okay, the state doesn't oversee your business. It's like a toll. It's like to say that the state oversees your driving because they charge a toll on the highway. Not true. There may be traffic cameras, there may be police on the side of the road who are watching what it is you're doing. But the state really, it's a way for the states to enable people to get limited liability protection. That's what LLCs are for. They want to spur you forming new businesses. They want to spur innovation. And they realize that if you don't have an LLC, then everything you have is on the line with that business. It's effectively chips all in on every hand if you don't have an LLC in place. Yes, there are fees. It's cost of doing business though. And the fees are really de minimis when you think about it. From some states, maybe as low as $50 or less to form an LLC, and then charge 10, 20, even in California, it's $800 a year to form the business. But that's not a big deal, right? If your business can't support $100 or $200, even $800 a year, maybe not such a good business idea, but let's let this gentleman continue.
There's annual reports, and then there's annual fees that you have to pay again to keep that business and LLC intact. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company.
He got that right.
The corporate veil can be pierced very easily.
Wrong. Limited liability company, the corporate veil cannot be pierced very easily. It's an extraordinary measure. Veil piercing really has gotten a bad rap. And what I often see is single member LLCs have significantly more veil piercing. The reason they have significantly more veil piercing is not because a single member LLC is inferior. It's because the people don't follow business formalities. There's no one looking over their shoulder. So they get the business makes some money, and they go and use the credit card to go buy groceries or pay tuition or something else. You have just undermined your asset protection because now you're commingling expenses, you're using the company's assets as your own. Why multi-member LLCs often at least appear when you on the surface, if you're not looking at the case law, which I do, is that multi-member LLCs, someone's looking over your shoulder, your business partner. And that business partner looks at it and says, hey man, why are you buying groceries with the company's money? You should not be doing that. So you wind up with more substantial business records. An LLC is not about just forming the company and doing whatever you want with it. It's not like you bought a bulletproof vest and you're good. You have to maintain it, and you have to follow those corporate formalities. Let's let the gentleman continue.
And when you do that, they can go after your assets personally for something that the business does. Let's say you're married and you get a divorce. Well, that LLC, it's going to be in divorce court. And now you've got to split up your business. You've got to split up your assets.
Yeah, like he's talking about a different issue. That's not veil piercing. He acted like it was, we're just continuing the conversation. But any asset you have as part of your marital estate, if you're going through divorce, that asset is going to be subject. Whether you've got a bank account with money in it, whether you've got a car, a piece of real estate, or an LLC, the court is going to determine, is this a marital asset that should be divided in some way? But there are issues related to it, but that has nothing to do with veil piercing. In terms of respecting the entity form, this is a whole other discussion, so I'm not sure why we arrived here. But when we're talking about domestic relations courts, broad power to do just about anything. I can't wait to hear what the solution is, because if you have a trust, we're going to see what happens. Let's see where this goes.
What's the solution for that, you're asking yourself, I'm sure. The solution is using trust. Trusts are the ultimate weapon in business and asset protection, along with estate planning. Here's why. Trusts offer unparalleled privacy. You don't record anything on public record that divulges the ownership of a trust. An LLC, on the other hand, you have to record that with the Secretary of State.
Okay. Like saying you need a trust is like saying I need a red car. It really doesn't say much. I'm not sure what kind of trust he's talking about. Maybe he gets into it. But a trust, a revocable living trust, one kind of trust that would provide, again, it's got that estate component to it, estate protection, helping you avoid probate. That type of trust, no asset protection at all. He's correct. It's not a publicly filed document, but then you're exposed to liability. When it comes to information that goes into the Secretary of State records, there's states that allow you to form an LLC privately. Your information is not required to go into the Secretary of State records. Wyoming is one of those states. Nevada is one of those states. There's others. So there's a way to create an LLC without your information being exposed to public scrutiny so that no one would know you are the owner of that LLC. One of the problems with non-conventional structures. I see, land trusts for owning real estate, business trust, other types of structures, is that I have not seen the case law, right? What I love about LLCs is that there is a tremendous body of case law. You go into litigation with your LLC and your attorney can tell you with a pretty significant confidence what the expected outcome is going to be. I don't know what would happen with a trust. What are the records that need to be in place there? And one of the things that can happen is we don't wind up with precedent. If the judge needs to make a decision on the spot there because there is a significant precedent, what happens if you have a very sympathetic plaintiff, someone who, is a widow or is an orphan or something like that, that judge is more likely to find in their favor. Because judges have heart, people have hearts, or a jury has a heart, and they see, man, there isn't a precedent on this matter, and so we're going to hold the trustee of the trust, we're going to hold the manager that was appointed by the trust personally liable. I like LLCs because we know what you need to do. If you do it, that precedent is going to protect your company. All right, here goes another one.
If you go to make an LLC, don't pay somebody to make it for you. Learn how to make it yourself. It's super easy. You just go to the Secretary of State's website. Here's a bonus for all the business owners. Pay them $120 to start your LLC and get your articles of organization. Then Google, get an EIN at the IRS, go to the website, plug in your name. The IRS will give you an EIN, which is like a social security number for your business. And boom, now you can take the articles of organization and the EIN number, and you go to the bank and you start a business bank account, and now your LLC's made. That's all you got to do.
You just missed. What do you need to do? You need to identify a registered agent. It's a requirement. Who will accept service process when your company gets sued? He missed it. All you need to do is go and file these articles, Secretary of State site. No, wrong. You need to go to the Secretary of State site. You need to pay the fee, and you need to identify what's the business address. Who's the registered agent? Registered agent is someone who's authorized to accept service of process. Registered agent should have normal business hours. Should be between 9 and 5. There should be a person 18 years or older. This is most states. It varies from state to state, but basically this. 9 to 5, 18 years or older, a person who can accept service of process on behalf of that LLC. Why do the states require a registered agent? Because they're giving you limited liability protection. They want to make it easy to sue the company. If you're an individual and somebody wants to sue you, they got to track you down, right? You don't know where you're going to be from 9 to 5 during the day. They have to do a search of you, try to find out where you are. It makes it more challenging. When you have an LLC, this is the quid pro quo. You have to name that registered agent. What the registered agent can do, which it's not important to him perhaps, is get you privacy. If you have a registered agent or you name yourself as a registered agent, well, if it's your office address, right? Let's say you have a business, you have employees. It doesn't look good when your employees are there and the guy shows up or gal and is like, I'm suing your company. That can cause your employees to leave. Oh my God, am I even going to be able to continue to work here? Or If you put your home address down, you've now got someone they call a process server showing up at the house, scaring your spouse, scaring your kids. If you've got friends over, there's someone there with a legal document saying that you're being sued. So that's a problem. I also think all you need are the articles in an EIN. Go to a bank. Hey, where's your operating agreement? Okay. Is it a correct operating agreement for your company? I've seen, and people come to me now, they got, hey, I got this operating agreement that ChatGPT gave me or that I downloaded off the internet. Would provide nothing, and no protection at all for the company. Really doesn't have the guidelines or rules. But let's let this gentleman continue.
Companies online will charge people $300, $400. Legal Zoom, sign you up for a year retainer on a monthly basis to make your LLC. And it's like, you can do that on your own.
Yeah. So that was the end of it. The cost there are some things, if you're on a shoestring, then you can, I think you can do some, just hire a registered agent only, or get someone who can do the very bare bones kind of thing, registered agent and operating agreement, and then you go get your own EIN, save some money doing that. But there are the basic things that you need. I said this in the other video as well. If you're that tight on finances, where the extra $100 or $200 or extra $100 or $200 a year is going to make a difference in your company, privacy, you get that component, all those things that can be embarrassing. But maybe you're not even ready for an LLC yet. And this is something that I think, with our company, with LLC Attorney, we listen to the clients and say, you're not ready yet, right? What's your business plan? Right? How are you going to get customers? What's the product? Where's the liability you're creating so far? I say, hold off a bit before you go and start the LLC. Maybe take a step back, take a breather. You don't need an LLC the minute you come up with a business idea. Figure out how to make that business idea work. And just like you need to, if you're opening a taco truck, I always open taco trucks. I love tacos. You are going to have to figure out, all right, how much ground beef do I have to buy? How much, pineapple, because I love pastor, this is the best kind. How much supplies I going to need? And add in $100 or $200 a year for maintaining that LLC, keeping in compliance, having the right documents and tools available, and having that registered agent so that if someone doesn't like your tacos, they're not showing up at your house with a lawsuit.
I know seeing bad advice like this can be concerning. If you want to make sure you're running your LLC the right way, check out my next video where I'll show you exactly what you need to have in place for real protection.